When did you decide to become a coach?
When I was still with Talia.
Why?
I just love what I do.
Did you just love training, or did you actually want to help people?
Help people, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do things like in terms because to create awareness more than anything, and that's what I love, like helping people. Like it's just my nature.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Project Transform podcast, where we talk all things health, fitness, and lifestyle. I'm running a solo episode today, but I brought in a little bit of a special guest. She is one of the other coaches at Project Transform, and that would be Jaymi. Hello.
Hi.
She's nervous. She's shitting bricks right now.
I am sweating.
Gross.
Oh no, I've sworn already.
Yeah, that's all right. You're doing better than me. So, how are you?
Good. Nervous.
Why?
I don't know.
Don't be nervous. It's just a casual chat.
I think it's because it's us doing a TED Talk, because we're like...
A TED Talk. No, it's not.
We actually haven't spoken openly about prep like this.
No.
Like, we've spoken in like little bits, but not like...
Yeah, we have never actually dived into it at all, I don't think.
This is going to be interesting.
It's mainly going to be about you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions about you here. It's not really about me. I didn't prep.
What?
Anyway, can you tell the people at home how old you are?
I'm 22.
Fuck, this sounds weird.
I had to think about that then.
Newly 22, obviously.
I feel like when I say it, I'm like, I realise how young I am. I'm like, oh. Everyone looks at me like, oh, you're a child.
You are.
Yeah.
You look like a child. There's going to be a lot of quiet silence from Jaymi this session.
Yeah, because if we start bickering, it's not going to stop.
Yeah, it won't. And then you'll cry.
Yeah, and I'll walk out.
Yeah. Well, that'd be so funny on the YouTube video. If I got you to walk out, oh, that'd make my day.
You know how you can. Right towards the end.
I'm going to say right towards the end.
No,
I just want you to know that. All right, so can you give everyone a bit of a rundown of your background story? So, you know, how it all started, how your life was through school, whatever it was. Just, I want the rundown.
We're going deep dive.
We're deep diving.
Fuck.
Better you than me.
I'm nervous now. Okay, well, prior to all of this, I was the classic person of just not understanding, like, wellness at all. In terms of, like, training, nutrition, the classic, like, what the hell do I want to do with my life? Like, depression, anxiety, the whole thing. Definitely, I more came into, like, the fitness side with more mental health than, like, physique side of, like, weight loss. Obviously, weight gain was needed, but that was only a bypass because I was so, like, mentally unhealthy.
Yeah.
More than anything. And I remember, geez, how long ago was it now? 3 years ago, I was starting with Talia. My first ever coach, I found her on Instagram, and I don't know why. I was like, I need some help more than anything. And basically from there, just ran with it. And that was probably the first time ever when I was 18 that I understood, like, you know, fitness and training wholeheartedly. But prior to that, I was just your classic, like, you know, gym girl that did nothing, like, didn't understand what I was doing. Yeah,
yeah. So Talia sort of set the foundations for what you sort of knew as the fitness industry.
Yeah,
is what
100%.
You'd say.
Yeah.
Cool. So you did your time with Talia. You achieved a lot of things. You did a photo shoot.
Yeah, did a photo shoot.
With a hit bunch of girls.
Yeah, and that was probably, like, the photo shoot, and especially because Talia competed, that, like, sparked it completely.
That sparked the bodybuilding side of
yeah,
things?
Yeah. And then we did the photo shoot, and I realised how well I actually did under pressure, especially in a photo shoot. Like, it was like, okay, now I actually understand what I'm doing. Like, yeah, I just kept running with it. And the photo shoot, being under pressure and seeing what I can do, I was like, shit, this is so addictive. Like,
yeah.
And then watching Talia compete and just all of it was just like, yeah, I definitely want to, like, ramp it up. And then I think I was with her for another year after that, maybe. And then that's when I started with you, basically.
Cool. And then you competed.
Yeah. And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
And that's only a year too. Like.
Yeah, that's not long.
Yeah, that was only a year ago. And from the sense of what we did in that as well.
How long have you been training for in total? How long have you seriously been training for?
I was maybe like 6 months by myself. And then with Talia, 2.5 maybe.
So 3 years so far?
Yeah, and then it was, then it was a year with you, so for...
about 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And that's the big thing too that I think is important to point out to some people. Some people aren't ready to compete straight away.
Yeah.
And like you knew you wanted to do it. You were with Talia for 2.5 years, and there was a point where you're like, fuck, I want to compete.
Yeah.
But you still didn't, pull the trigger on competing at that exact moment.
No,
A lot of people
no
are like,
way.
I want to compete, let's do it. A lot of people need that little bit of time to make sure they are.
Yeah, there's
ready
no
to do
way.
it.
If
Yeah.
there's one thing that a prep does, it highlights what's actually wrong.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of,
especially with eating habits. Like,
yeah.
I did a lot more groundwork before with Talia, in terms of like eating, body image, all of that side of stuff and training.
Yep.
That's like prep highlighted that.
Yep. So do you think that bodybuilding itself changed the trajectory of your life for the better?
Yeah, 100%.
Where do you think you'd be if you didn't find bodybuilding?
Fucking hell. I would honestly probably be the same Jaymi I was before. And probably just like in and out of trying to find what the hell with like therapist, medication. The classic just like
Skinny
Band-Aid.
bitch eating Maccas. And
Yeah,
training
the
fucking
Band-Aid
nothing.
fix.
Yeah.
And the classic, let's just go get smashed every weekend.
Yeah. Do you resent that type of person now? Or are you still glad that you went through that stage?
Yeah, no, 100% glad, because it was, if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't appreciate what I have now.
Yep. 100%.
And people don't understand that. Like for me now, I have this thing, I'm like, I pay it back for what I did prior,
Yeah.
and I don't hold resentment anymore because of it. Like, I wouldn't be probably as dedicated as I am now without that.
Do you ever look back and think what could have been if you started earlier, when you were going through that time, or do you never think about that? No? No. Interesting. All right, so bodybuilding changed your life for the better. What part of your life in general, whether good, bad, ups, downs, whatever, what was the most pivotal part in your journey? So what was the most important moment in your journey so far, whether it be something that's clicked or, it's changed the direction of your future or whatever it may be? You've grown in how you feel about certain things, like whatever it is the most pivotal thing. Like if you had to pinpoint a magic moment in your life so far, what would it be? That has changed everything.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Come up with this one myself. I'm doing good,
Yeah,
aren't
what the heck? I don't know. I honestly can't think of one.
Yeah.
But I know there is one. Clearly, but I don't know what.
When did you decide to become a coach?
When I was still with Talia.
Why?
Because I just
Why?
love what I do.
Did you just love training or did you actually want to help people?
Help people, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do things like in terms because to create awareness more than anything. And that's what I love, like helping people. Like it's just my nature.
Yeah.
More than
Yeah.
anything. What is my pivotal moment?
I don't know. You're telling me.
I feel like you should know. I don't know. You know what? Actually, now I've got it.
Yeah.
Probably the moment, because I was never someone that could like spend time with myself.
Yep.
But when I was training or anything with like meal prep or anything was the only time that I was able to be like, okay, I can actually spend time with myself.
Yeah.
Because I just never I hated it. I was always bypassing with it with like, like going out on weekends, seeing people, like that was probably the moment that I was like, oh, okay, that's my pivotal moment that this shit actually does make me feel good. Because I never felt that prior, that it was just always I was on autopilot.
Yeah. Gotcha. That's good. That's a good one. I like
Cool.
that.
I knew it would flicker somewhere.
Let's go back to where you were talking about, like, you like helping people, that's why you became a coach, all that sort of jazz. With that, would you say you're a holistic coach? Would you say you're a Gen Pop coach? Would you say you're a wellness coach? Would you say you're a bodybuilding coach? Which one are we?
Chucky's going to be listening to this like, I know what one. Still a Gen Pop coach, because I feel like there's a massive grey area with, like holistic and wellness and all the jazz. But it's like, for me and my understanding, anything with coaching, with like training, nutrition or whatever, it's not holistic. Like it's really what our body is meant to do. Like it's natural. And I think it's kind of like upsetting that there was a point somewhere where looking after yourself in terms of training and nutrition and everything became that it was all woody, like that it's not meant to make you feel
So what?
It's woody.
Woody? What the fuck is that? Woody. It gives me the heebie-jeebies to fucking do a bit of exercise. What the fuck was that? Seriously. Anyway. You just said the forbidden word on the podcast. Now we're not going to get any money. Anyway.
What were we saying?
You said it'd give you the woodies. Like, would you rather go to the gym or would you not? With
the holistic side of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like anything that I'm more of the coach that gets people to understand how they're feeling after training more than anything.
Yeah.
Like making them feel better, and that became a part where even Chucky was like, oh, she's like holistic side, but it's like it's generally what your body needs. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Cool.
I get it. You're a hippie. No, I'm kidding. All right. So, do you have any regrets or major lessons that you've learned in the whole time you've been a part of the fitness industry, or the whole time you've been on your own self journey, or things like that? And if you do, give me one example. Kind of like a pivotal moment, but it's not. It's like a lesson or a regret or anything like that you wish you could have done differently, or something like that.
Not making my actions actually meet what I wanted sooner. That was probably for me.
Explain.
So, say for example with, my old coach, with food and stuff, like it was just, oh yeah, I did fine with food this week or something, but really it was like just bypassing.
So you're lying.
Yeah.
You lied to your coach. You're every coach's worst nightmare.
Oh my God.
Were you getting results like that?
I was actually, but not at a rate that I could have got it a lot better.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm just asking. I'm here to ask the questions. Don't shoot the messenger.
This is us on a daily basis.
We're worse. We're keeping a lid on it.
We're actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, we are. Well, I guess we've got a couple of fangirl questions for you that have been asked. How did you handle your... Actually, let's talk about your prep first. Let's talk about your prep. How did you find prep?
Good.
Yeah?
I loved it. Yeah, I did love it.
The whole part. There wasn't one thing you didn't like.
4 weeks out, life flipped on its head, but
yeah,
that was necessary and needed.
Yeah,
more than anything.
Makes the story a little bit sweeter.
100%. Yeah.
I think
definitely. Like throughout it all, I loved it. Like I think people go into like prep or anything, and they say, "Oh yeah, I understand. I'm going to be tired and stuff," but they get to the point where they're tired and depleted and don't want to do anything, and they like let their actions differ. It's like you signed up for what you signed up for. Like you're gonna have to embrace the pressure of it.
I think if you're truly a bodybuilder at heart and you truly love what you do, the reward shouldn't be the stage at the end.
No, 100%.
The reward should be getting to put in the hard work and reap the benefits and the results of that, regardless of what show comes from show day. Everyone wants to win.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Anyone who says they don't, and anyone wants to beat their last package, fuck off. You don't.
Yeah.
You want it. You go there to win. That's all. That's
100%.
why you put yourself through this grueling fucking
journey.
But at the same time, if you don't enjoy the journey, you'll always be turned away from bodybuilding after a first show, because you truly didn't take time to enjoy those moments where you thought you were going to give up, but you didn't.
Yeah,
and
100%.
when you enjoy those is when you find bodybuilding. And what I saw from coaching you through that is that you did truly love it. Like you did truly enjoy every moment, every fucking check-in where I told you to do more. There was that slight bit of like, fuck, I've got to do more. But then it was, I've got to do more. I did more, and you did it. And
it was just the pressure. Like pressure is, people always like hate the feeling of pressure. But you've got to lean into it. Like it's just it's there for a reason more than anything. Yeah. Because discomfort is definitely needed. Yeah.
My dad C-Bum says pressure is a privilege.
It is.
He's correct.
It definitely is. Like
So,
you get to pick basically what you want.
You do.
And that's the thing that people don't get with prep. Like it's just, do you want to get an average result and be upset with what you did? Like I think it's more disheartening seeing people go into preps just for the sake of it without like giving themselves 100%. Because again, like reason I do anything is because of my old self. That's why I hold no regrets. Because I'm paying it back for what I did with everything.
Yeah, 100%. Was there any time where you ever thought about pulling out of prep?
Yeah.
4 weeks out?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I
knew that was a hard week. Hard few weeks.
that was insane. Yeah. That was probably the first moment that I was like, I honestly don't see, especially because like that time I was like, I've never known anything different in terms of just like that life. I was like, that's what's my normal. Like, how is that meant to be? But I was like, okay, this is happening for a reason. Like, it just doesn't make sense, but it's happening for a reason. And I'm not saying that to make it like all positive. It's just, I think one thing my journey's taught me has always been there, and afterwards when there's pressure, it's like, oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah. Very much when one door closes, another opens, sort of.
And I think post-show it's definitely shown that.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Like, that was only, the 4 weeks. Like, even after that, I was like, I don't understand how I'm meant to do this. And I definitely had to go against a lot of my own values of myself, especially, like, healing and feeling and sitting with shit. But I was like, I literally cannot sit with this. Like, there's no way if I was to sit with this 4 weeks out, I was like, I can't do that. And even from the sense of that feeling of like, is this going to get taken away?
Yeah.
Like, am I going to fuck up my first prep? Because I was like, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
Like that. If I came out of prep knowing that I did something that differed, I would have been so upset. And especially because of what happened 4 weeks out, I was like, there's no way that there's something else being taken away.
Run us through that feeling that felt like to step on the stage for the first time. And I mean, I want the feeling of that iconic photo where there's no crowd. Where there's like, where you're just there practicing in the morning.
It was like...
And you almost slipped on your ass, but no one knows that.
Yeah, that
until now.
Oh my God. It was like a feeling of just being content. Like I am normally, if I feel very like out of place or something, like if I get really anxious, I just won't like enjoy or be present or like, you know, be content. But the moment I got to like especially show day, I was like, this is it. I was like, I literally just love this. Like I was so like happy and content. But even stepping on stage, like the actual run through, the moment that we got down, I was like, it feels like I was literally not, I don't know how to explain it. Like I just wasn't there. I was
out of body experience.
Yeah. And then I remember when I first walked out and when I first hit the first spot, from there, that first spot, I still remember that, but after that, everything else is just...
A blur?
Yeah, it was a blur.
Yeah, that's crazy. How did it feel? Could you hear everyone cheering from the crowd? Or was everything too loud? Were you just sort of numb almost to it?
I definitely, like, I could a little bit, but even, like, the music and hearing stuff, like, it was just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lights are fucking...
Oh, yeah, the lights, that was insane.
Yeah,
like, I remember in the morning, they actually had to adjust them because they were so bright. They had different ones.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was blinding as heck.
So, I don't think we've ever spoken about, like, where you placed, actually. I don't know if you've ever mentioned it.
I think I did.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember seeing it. But anyway, you placed 10th out of 24. First show, not bad. We've never spoken about this. We've never had a conversation about this.
No.
Are you happy with your result?
110%.
Yeah.
I think one really interesting thing, like, going into shows, like, for anyone, not even just me, everyone feels the need to do, like, I understand doing 2 categories if, like, you know, you want a placing, but, like, for me, going into wellness is everything that I want. Like, in terms of just my physique. Like, so many people put themselves into a small box and just like, oh, I'll do that just for a placing. Like, I was more happy at the sense of my placing, knowing that I didn't differ because of it. Like, I was like, I could have gone into bikini, not saying I would have placed well in bikini, but, like, I could have gone into bikini, placed better in bikini, but with wellness. Like, I was definitely happy. Like, I went to stage knowing that I gave 110% with everything. And even from the sense of what I went through to even get there, like, I was a first-timer. Like... Yeah, like so many people are like, oh, I'll do 2 categories, like go for your life if you want, but for me I would have been very disheartened because it would have just gone against it. Like I'm not going to go into a category just for replacing, like that's ridiculous. Like in terms of my progress, I know wholeheartedly that I will come back better. Like it's not.
Yeah. The other reason people do 2 categories, not to take away from that, but is to get their nerves out on stage.
Yeah, 110%.
Which is like just a general thing.
But even like I get that, but it's always gonna be there. Is the thing.
Yeah, but remember how you took your practice run through and you found that slippery spot on stage?
They can do the same thing.
They can, but that doesn't mean they'll do it properly. So if they have,
I guess so.
And some of those first timers might not know they get the run throughs in the morning either. Some of these people are coming to stage with minimal knowledge of how it works as well.
Yeah.
Remember that.
I think more because I have more of an understanding of it.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah.
But
how did you handle your cravings through your prep, or if you had any cravings at all?
I feel like
you were fairly rigid. I think even in the off season you had 3 off-plan meals. And you asked me for all 3, and they were all Palmers, I think, except for 1. So
I feel like people that I understand, like, okay, some people can want to give into cravings, go for your life, but you're generally just making it worse. Like, it's a very small gratification that you need from food. Like, I think it's just suck it up, do it. Like, it's not, don't just lean into it for the sake of leaning into it for a desire. Like, it's just, you're gonna have cravings. Like, it's, generally throughout my whole prep, I didn't have cravings. Like, even when you got rid of my pasta, I was like, oh, like, I definitely had more, like, just trying new foods was my thing. Like, I didn't crave it, but I was like, when I was making you eat good chocolate bars because they were new.
Oh, yeah, you're getting me fat. Just because I was bulking. She's like, oh, eat this and be fat shit.
It was just so I could know if the chocolate was good or not. I didn't even crave it. I was like, okay, it's good now. I haven't even tried the chocolate that I gave you.
You're fucking insane. Cool. How did you find the monotony of it all? Of just eating the same thing day in, day out, doing the same sessions day in, day out, doing fucking steps and cardio and all like your lists and everything day in, day out?
It was obviously repetitive. It's just more of the shit that's just needed. Like, it's just...
Did you find the further you got in the prep and the more tired and exhausted you got, the easier it was just to do it because you were already doing it anyway?
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
Like, yeah, it's a grind to do it, but like, it's not like...
It was just autopilot. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's do steps, let's do that. Like, there was no... Towards the end of prep, there's no second guessing anything. Like, it's just, you just get it done. Like,
Yeah.
And I think people don't understand that you can just literally just do shit. Like, I think people always say, oh, you know, I'm not feeling the best, so I'm not going to do it. It's like, thoughts and actions are completely two different things.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't get.
Yeah.
Especially in a prep. Like that, probably saying that to myself during prep was the thing that helped me a lot.
Yeah. What about after prep, more so? Oh, even a little bit during the back end of prep, like when we depleted you and fed you back up and shit like that.
Death days. Jesus
Death
Christ.
days, yeah.
Not even, that wasn't even leg days. That was not leg days.
Yeah, we pushed it pretty hard then. For anyone that doesn't know, there was a point where Jaymi was eating like net carbs, which means like the only carbs she was eating was just the trace carbs in her foods.
That was, yeah.
That was some rough days. But you got through it, so it was alright.
Yeah, I'm honestly just having flashbacks of just looking at myself in the room like, oh my god, I
There's
look like a walking zombie.
I was listening to something that he's a coach in the industry, Brandon Kempter, was saying the other day, and he was saying about how you gotta dig them into a hole and then pull them back out, and you dig them into the hole by ripping food away. You give them a refeed, fill them back out, get them out of the hole, but you just don't want to dig them too big of a hole. And I don't think we did that. I think we handled that actually quite well, considering fucking where we got. So
that was, they even, like, I remember having to deal with everything that happened 4 weeks out, and then that was still...
That's when we started doing it.
Yeah, that's when we started doing it, and that was like, alright, this is either I can just suck this up and get this done, or...
sink or swim.
Basically.
Yeah.
And... yeah, that was definitely, like, that was the moment that I was, my actions are just, I just got to go on autopilot and just get it done. Like, it's not anything different from that.
What about with the depletions and the refeed days? Did you notice the differences in your physique? Like, obviously I could notice it, but you could notice it?
Yeah, 100%. I remember the first time we did it, I could literally feel myself, like, filling out. Like, I remember the first time I looked, I was like, holy shit. Like, my arm just had, like, veins, especially my stomach, like... Yeah. My stomach, like, was insane. That probably held the most veins. Yeah. More than anything.
That was weird.
Yeah, it looked like an inside-out snake.
Looks like it had worms.
It was sick.
That was the question I was going to ask you. In terms of the food, there was a point, a little bit through that depletion, the refeed, this is the point I was going to get onto, but more so after prep, where you were open about not knowing when you were full, when you were hungry, when you were, like, things like that. And I told you this. I said that this would probably be an issue just because of how hard we dug. But then you really, even the 2 weeks post-comp, I think it was you're still feeling it a little bit. One, did you only feel it post-comp? Did you feel it before comp? Did it come and go? Did some days were you hungry, some days you weren't? Or was it just all the time you just didn't know?
I think the moment that I realised that I couldn't actually tell if I was full or not was when we were doing refeeds, because remember how I was having, like, 100 grams of oats for my morning with refeeds, and I was like, I sat there and I was like, I don't feel like I'm eating. And that's when I knew, and I was actually really happy that I felt that prior to post-show. Yeah. Because if I felt that post-show, I would have been like, oh, okay, like, this is just normal. And when I realised that, I was like, this is not normal. Like, I'm still weighing it out. Like, I was definitely happy that I felt that then. Yeah. Because it made me aware of it even, like, post-show. Like, one thing I noticed, because we were going out and then I had my birthday, and I was having to concentrate so much on eating. Like, I remember at my birthday, I actually said to my friends, like, I need to just sit here and eat, because if I'm going to talk to you, I'm just not going to be able to pay attention.
You're just going to keep shoveling it in.
Yeah, and even just, I've always, that was my third deficit that I did, ever.
Yeah, well, you did one for your photo shoot.
Yeah, and
I did one with me at the start. We did a mini cut, and then we did that prep.
Yeah, because even I've always been so used to eating a lot of food. Like, I know how much I can eat. Like, that's also the issue with me post-show. Like, if I was to have, say, like, just a normal size meal, like, if I was to have one of my normal meals, I would be like, oh, I can have more of that because I know how much I can eat. Like, I can't tell if I'm full or not.
Make sure to chungus.
Yeah, I love food.
So how did you combat that? How did you like, especially post show when freedom was a little bit more there? We gave you a fair bit of freedom. I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat it. I pretty much told you can do what you like for a week. But you still wanted your macros.
Purely because I was like, I know if I don't have anything, like, especially, I track, not even from the sense of just to be obsessive, to just make sure, like, okay, I'm on track, like, with everything. And I knew not having it, I would have been, like, in my own head especially, like, if I was having a bad day, like, I wanted to control it, that I was like, okay. Yeah. Like, especially because tracking allows me to understand, okay, that's what I'm having, like, rather than just eyeballing stuff, because eyeballing, like, I wasn't able to tell. I remember oh my god, I remember when I went to...
Yeah, well, you need glasses, so your eyeballing's probably not too fucking crash out, to be honest.
I remember the first time I went food shopping and you said, just, like, if you want anything from the shops, like, just, you know, like, just get it. And I don't know why, but going to the food shop, like, shopping for the first time, I was so overwhelmed, because I was like, I can't actually eyeball anything, like, I can't, like, tell, like, I was just... Did I tell you that?
No, this is the first I've heard.
Nah, I struggled first time going to the shops.
You know you didn't have to eyeball it. You know you could still track whatever you bought.
Yeah, I know, but I just got so overwhelmed, and I was like, I feel like a normal like, I felt like I can just get whatever now. And that was just, like, that made me so uncomfortable, because I was like, this isn't, like, normal. Like,
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, because even, I brought crumpets that week, and I got the crumpets, and I was like...
Yeah, you were fucking over the moon.
Yeah, it was...
I could have crumpets. All I heard about for a week straight was crumpets. Crumpets are better than muffins.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I was like, shut up. I don't care.
No, I don't even have the crumpets anymore. I'm going back to rice cakes.
Yeah, you fucked in the head. So how did you combat it though? This is the money question. How did you combat that period of not knowing when you were full or not? Not so much through prep, because we had set meals and things like that, and timings and shit like that. More so post show when you had that freedom. How did you combat that?
If I had a meal, especially, like if I finished the meal, for example, I would wait like 20 minutes, have water with it, and like, okay, that's it. Because, like, obviously being like a coach, and because I've been tracking for so long, I understand it, that it's like, yeah, I actually am done. Like, I kind of just got to suck it up that I'm not going to feel like I've eaten, basically. Like, it's just, and just knowing that it's more of a time frame, that it's like it will start to feel normal again.
Yeah. Because I want to get your take on that, because even though it was a sort of like a post-show thing for like competitors, a lot of competitors will feel like this. It happens to general people in everyday life too. Like, there's a lot of people that don't know when they're full.
Yeah, 100%.
Usually.
That's why tracking's so, like, that's why, not like, you know, understanding tracking wholeheartedly, but having some type of education around tracking.
Yeah,
like,
and at least being able to guide yourself through it.
100%.
Like, it usually comes down to hormone levels, basically.
My hormones were.
Why? And we know from... Have you booked your blood test yet? I'm asking podcast. I'm calling you out. You told me you were going to do it the other day. Have you fucking booked it?
You told me yesterday.
Yeah, and you said you were going to do it the day before. So book your fucking blood test.
Okay, I'll do it after this.
In terms of like hormone levels and that, we knew that yours were pretty shot. Like a good month or so from comp, we knew that things weren't... Yeah. You weren't healthy, in a sense, I guess.
It's
quotation marks. And that's just part of it.
Yeah.
But we want to have that unhealthy phase for the least amount of time as possible. So, I guess right now you're starting to feel your hunger and your satiety levels and everything are coming back, and we can sort of gauge that things are moving back in the right direction. The needle's going back to healthy, not fucked. The other question was, how did you handle the mental switch when it comes to eating and the whole, like, it serves a purpose mindset that you would have had to be in? I feel like you don't really have to flip a switch, because you eat relatively normal. I shouldn't say normal, but it is. For a normal person, you eat quite good, like even better than me half the time, to be fair. I feel like, shut up, let me finish my fucking question.
I thought you were finished.
No,
Continue, off you go, come on. Hurry up, let's go. It's coming out, it's coming.
I'm coming out. I need the word to... Anyway, so what I was going to say is, you generally eat pretty good, like as a general person, but this is probably coming from a person who thinks they eat generally pretty good. Like, most people in the world think they eat generally pretty good. They don't. And
No,
they don't. There's a lot that people can clean up, and they think they eat healthy foods in good amounts, but there is a lot of things that people are missing in their diets and things like that we can clean up. But for you eat generally pretty good.
And that came into my prep. Like, I was like, this is what I would do anyways. Like,
yeah, and you didn't really have to flip a switch.
Nah.
Because we just sort of...
It was already done. Like, if you have to flip your food from going, like, off-season to a prep, you're not giving yourself a full extent of what your body needs in terms of nutrition.
See, I don't think... Not many people would know this either. Most people probably think you ate a pretty rigid meal plan, which you did. Yeah. But I let you control most of your foods. Yeah. I just oversaw everything and got you to change.
I remember even messaging you about rice. I was like, I messaged you about everything. I was talking about this, what about that?
And that's the whole point. That was what I was there for. But I sort of let you do what you did with your food because I trusted what you did with your food, and I just looked over it. And if there was something I didn't like, there's a few things that I told you to swap out and change. Remember on one of your depletion days, I said take your rice out, swap it out for like potatoes or something like that. Like I changed a few little bits and pieces. But obviously, you sort of did everything yourself in that sense because you never had to flip that switch. You didn't have to rely on a meal plan because you already ate pretty similar.
More of like the mental switch for me from like food post show was just allowing like meals out and stuff, like with family and stuff. Like that was just even home cooked meals. I was like, that to me feels abnormal, but like people tracking wholeheartedly, that feels weird to them. Like for 100%. Me, I'm definitely like, I'm good with it now, but for the first part, I was like, this just is so weird. Like it's just flipping the switch of it. That was the hardest point to me, to just allow like, okay, I'm actually fine to do this, which I'm happy I did, because there was definitely moments that I was like, I remember I said something to Mum when she said about having the home cooked meal day. Oh, when we went to the Palmer, because I remember I instantly said no to Mum, and she was like, I remember Mum, like it was just like a switch that I was like, no, like I can't. And then because of my food, and Mum was like, but like, that's probably more the sacrifice stuff with that was more the mental switch. I was like, I'm allowed to have, that with my family, because it is, families do love, obviously, having food and stuff. And I had to sacrifice that basically all year.
Yeah, so that's most of the main questions. I guess.
Fire questions.
No, not yet.
Oh shit.
I guess most people would probably want to know what the plans are for you now. What does the future hold for Jaymi, the coach?
Do not. You're treading on water. Well, obviously I'll compete again. Like there's no question about it. I will compete. It's just time frame wise, like growth is definitely needed in terms of my legs for wellness 100%, so 2 years probably. Yeah,
so basically what we're going to do now is we're going to put you through a health phase, is what we've spoken about, so make sure everything's good, and then we punch the growth phase. The growth phase.
I want that part to hurry up, because the health side is...
It's annoying, but it'll happen. Alright, so what we're going to do now, we're going to do some rapid fire questions. I want to do this with all my guests that I ever have on this podcast.
Pardon?
I'm going to do this with all the guests I ever have. I did it with Chucky.
Okay.
But you didn't listen to that episode.
I didn't listen to that episode.
Got, I think there's only like 10 or so.
Only 10?
It's only 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 11 questions. And I'm going to ask them to you, and you've got 3 seconds to answer.
3?
3 seconds.
Don't, that gives me anxiety. Give me 10.
No way. You don't get to think. It's the first thing comes to your head. Alright? You ready?
No.
Alright. First one is favourite exercise.
Adios.
How many crystals do you own? Quick answer.
I don't know, maybe like 150.
Wrong answer, too many. Favourite dessert?
Cheesecake.
Favourite breakfast?
Oats.
What are you afraid of?
I don't know.
That's the worst answer ever. What dish do you cook the best?
What?
What dish do you cook the best?
Pasta.
What's your hidden talent?
No idea.
Being autistic, I reckon. Do you believe in soulmates? Oh, sorry, acoustic is what I meant to say, not autistic. Do you believe in soulmates?
Yeah.
Do you physical strength or mental strength?
Ooh, mental strength.
Natty or not? Stop saying the forbidden word. You're going to get my podcast banned in several countries. Not like we're worldwide yet, but we will be. You didn't answer the question in 3 seconds. No. Doubtful, because you just didn't. I'm kidding.
Hey, you're putting yourself on blast. Am I? The real question everyone wants to know.
Yeah. Fake nat. No, you are 100% natty. Aside from some green tea.
Dandelion tea.
And some dandelion tea. But, no. Cool. That was good. Well, we're going to wrap her up, I think. Anything else that you want to tell the people or ask me or anything like that?
What did you find the hardest with the coaching side of it for prep?
In prep?
Yeah.
I think the only thing I found the hardest was taking the emotion out of it for me. So, like, we're friends outside of clientele and coach relationship. So, the hard part for me some days was not getting frustrated with you from a friendship level because of just, like, how flat you were or how you're just being shit at the time. But I knew deep down, or I knew in my head that I'm the cause of that, in a sense. Like, I need to take that emotion out. And that's what I need to learn that from the start of doing this job when I coached a few other friends of mine, is that you can't have emotion in the job. Like, you're doing a job, you're doing something for a person. That person wants a result, regardless of how upset they get or how flat they are or whatever it is, you need to get them there.
I get that,
and that's what you do. So I think that was one of the hardest things that I found. And I think that's it. I wouldn't even say, like,
what are you most proud of yourself of in terms of coaching with that side of prep?
Adapting to multiple different situations that we had. And I think I'm very proud of the product that we produced together. And I think I'm very proud of the way I hold myself as a coach and the way, you know, I rolled up to the show. I was uniform on. I was ready. I was focused. Like, I didn't care.
Yeah,
like,
you were switched on completely.
Yeah, like, whatever you needed, I did it. Like, people don't know the running around I did show day to get some shit to get you, because you were... we've never spoken about this either, that you went flat pretty hard, like, in the morning, and we were trying to fill you back up before you got on stage. So no one, like, really knows about that running around side of things that I did. And I don't know, I think I'm proud of, for a first show, the package that we brought, the way we conducted ourselves, the way we got there in a position that was actually quite healthy, and the way that we managed to bring something where you held your own on stage and you looked like a natural athlete that's done it 10 times before. Yeah, I
remember when I actually was flipping coaches that I knew, I was like, I need a prep coach. And I remember I was sort of like, as you said, we were obviously friends even before being, like, you know, you coaching me.
Yeah.
We were friends, and I remember talking to you about Talia, and I think this is when we went to train, and your, like, response that you gave me in terms of, you weren't even meaning it in a way to, like, get a client. Like, you were generally just talking about it, and it flicked in me that I was like, I feel like Jack actually does need to coach me. That I was like, even the way you spoke about it and what you would do, you were like, I'm not 100% certain, but, like, I think this, and this. And just the way that you were so, like, rapid, and you were like, when you think about things, like, you can tell that you're like, I'm going to learn it. And that's, like, your one thing that I trusted the most, that I was like, if, you know, there was something that Jack wanted to know, he'll learn it.
Yeah.
And there's not, so, like, that in terms of coaching, people don't do. In terms of education, they're just like, oh, like, whatever. Like, and that's the extent that people don't even realise, like, yeah, you prepped me for that year, but you also went from having no idea that you were going to be a prep coach to also, in that, like, learning as much as you did to do that.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's it. Beautiful. You just call me a prep coach. I'm take that.
He's going to put it on his Instagram now.
Yeah, Wellness King. No. Beautiful. Can you tell the people where they can find you, social media, everything like that?
Instagram, PRJCT_Jaymi.
Yep.
And the Facebook page.
And the TikTokies.
Oh yeah, TikTok too.
Yeah, you got TikTok.
Love my TikTok. My daily vlogs.
Your daily vlogs that haven't been so daily lately?
No, they haven't been. I haven't even posted my show day one. Yeah.
Fuck.
I know.
You might as well post it next time you compete. Fucking hell. What the fuck's the point of posting it now?
It was so, like, brain-numbingly, like, satisfying to just have something to look forward to in my day.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Alright, and you can find me, like usual, guys, at Project Transform _Jack on Instagram. I pop up on the Facebook page every now and again doing lives. I pop up on the main page on Instagram with my posts and stuff like that. That's mainly it. I don't have any TikTokies. I'm too old.
No, he just hasn't gotten around to doing it.
I'll do it one day.
I don't have time. What am I meant to do it on?
I care about my clients more than my social media, alright?
Oh my god.
But yeah, that is it. Thank you very much for joining us. Any final words? No one cares. Goodbye. See you guys later.
Wow, you didn't say it. I'm so proud of you.
What was I going to say? Bevo!